Hey, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep and put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
First, I want to start with offering up my sincere appreciation, but also condolences, to Sergeant Joe Harris, one of the original members of the 555th Parachute Infantry Battalion, the first Black airborne paratroopers in the United States Army. They were known as the Triple Nickels. Sergeant Joe Harris was 109 years of age. What an incredible life. And because of his courage, his commitment, his sacrifice, he made it possible for a guy like me from the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia, to become a paratrooper and become a master parachutist. And if you don't know the story of the Triple Nickels, you should read up about it. They were the ones that really pioneered the smoke jumping tactics and techniques and procedures that are pretty much so still used today. They were not allowed to go over to World War II and to participate in those combat operations, but yet they had just as an important mission, because the Japanese were using incendiary balloons to fly across and set the Pacific Northwest on fire. 109 years of age, a life well lived, a life well served. And that's what meritocracy is all about. Not people asking for an equality of outcomes, but just the equality of opportunity to say that, yeah, we can do this too, and enable a kid like me to become a United States Army airborne paratrooper. Feet and knees together. Fair winds to you, Sergeant Joe Harris. You now have the true wings, the wings that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ will give to you. But first, you earn the wings that I'm proud to wear on my lapel. Rest in peace and blessings upon the Harris family. Learn more about the Triple Nickels. I'm a lifetime member of the 555th Parachute Infantry Battalion Association, as well as many of us should be. Now let's talk about where we are in America right now. Because I want to tell you that Donald Trump has done something that no other Republican president, no other Republican has been able to do. And he did it quite quickly. Donald Trump has broken the Democrats. Yes, he has. And think about this. Here was a guy that the Democrats brought, 90 plus indictments against him? And now they're the ones in a public infighting. They're the ones engaging in a public circular firing squad. I mean, they are absolutely beside themselves. And furthermore, the American people see that. There are recent polls that just came out, NBC poll, the approval rating for the Democrat Party, 27%. Unheard of. CNN poll, 29% approval rating for Democrats. We know now that they are just gone apoplectic on Senator Chuck Schumer about him, and I think it was a total of 10 Senate Democrats supporting the continuing resolution that will continue to fund the government to the end of this fiscal year, 30 September. That's what you're supposed to be doing up there. And to hear Nancy Pelosi, AOC, all these other leftist progressives saying that we should have stood, we should have shut down the government. They have completely lost their minds. Because as Chuck Schumer and what few rational people call themselves Democrats to the left, saying that if you do that, all of a sudden we're going to furlough government employees. And then we're going to say, but we got to keep this amount because they're essential to the function of the government. Oh, guess what you will have just said to the Department of Government Efficiency? All of these folks here, we don't need them. They're not essential. So why are they part of the federal government? A federal government who, if I'm correct, makes up north of 25% of our GDP. That shouldn't be that way. And during the Biden-Harris years, most of the jobs and all the positives, these were out of the government sector. That's not a healthy economy. But yet these people are so, Democrats, party of the jackass, they're so focused on hate Trump, hate everything he's doing. Let's go after him. Let's destroy him. They're destroying themselves. It's kind of like the story of Gideon when he was attacking the camp of the enemy with just 300. They fell upon themselves and destroyed themselves. And I think it was Napoleon who once said, never interfere with your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. That's where we are right now. Now, again, Republicans tend to have the ability to somehow steal defeat from the jaws of victory. But right now, they just cleared an incredible hurdle. And I think that they should look and say, wow. Instead of Hakeem Jeffries coming out saying, we got Republicans on the run. We got Republicans on the run. We got Republicans on the run. I think that the Democrats are decimating themselves. All because, again, Republicans, Donald Trump, they have an agenda, they have a plan, they have a program, they're executing it, and they don't know how to respond and react. Other than just stomping their feet and throwing a tantrum. But I cannot remember, and look, Democrats have always had a little squabble, little infighting, but never publicly. I mean, the media covered for them. Everybody, covered for them. But now it is full blown, out in the open. They are destroying themselves. And the polling shows that. And the mainstream media, who has lost a lot of credibility, they can't even hide it. I mean, we're not talking about a Fox News poll. We're talking about an NBC and a CNN poll that puts Democrat approval rating at 27 to 29%. Donald Trump, on the other hand, highest marks he's ever had. That says something. But really, is it that Donald Trump has done so great? Or is it that the Democrats are just that bad? The progressive socialists, the leftists, the Marxists, that people are realizing it. And there's three great examples of that here just recently. The first one is, and it comes from Representative Jasmine Crockett, who is from right here in Dallas County, Texas Congressional District 30. Supposedly, she has a law degree and is a member of the United States House of Representatives, a legislator, meaning that she is responsible for making laws as according to the Constitution, which I don't think she's ever read. But Jasmine Crockett comes out and says something that is so, well, when she says crossing the border illegally is not a crime, that to me is the definition of what Vladimir Lenin once called the useful idiot. Now, if you do something illegally, as opposed to doing something legally, which means that if you're doing something legally, you are abiding by the law, you're operating within the prescribed left and right limits of the law. But if you're doing something illegally, that means it's wrong. It's against the law, which means it's a crime. And for a member of the United States House of Representatives from a border state, a state like Texas that has 1,257 miles of border that it shares with a foreign country, a border that has been operationally controlled by a non-state, non-uniform, narco-criminal terrorist organization. And she's going to say that coming across that border illegally into a sovereign nation is not a crime. And we're supposed to believe that she is coherent enough or cognizant enough to make laws for this nation. You gotta be kidding me. See, that's why Democrats have a 27% or 29% approval rating, depending on if you want to look at NBC or CNN. And I think it's going to continue to crater. I think it's going to continue to drop. It would not surprise me if it gets down close to 20%. Put them on life support. When you have a member of your party, an elected official, that you give a microphone to, where's Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader? I mean, is there a point in time when he calls her in and says, you stay off the airwaves? I mean, you're killing us. Every time you open your mouth, you're dropping a hand grenade on yourself and on our entire party. It's the most asinine thing to say that coming into the country illegally is not a crime. I mean, Tom Homan, just easily response to that was, here's the United States statute and code that says coming into this country illegally is a crime. And a Democrat member of the House of Representatives does not know that. Or maybe they know it, but they're such a delusional ideologue that they think it's okay. See, that's why Donald Trump has broken the back of the Democrats. That's why they have a 27 to 29% approval rating. But it's not just that. We've got this Obama-appointed district judge, a district judge now. Now, this district judge, James E. Boasberg, Boasberg, I guess he thinks, I'm high and mighty. I'm going to issue an order that says to the President of the United States of America that those criminal illegal immigrants, those Trinidad gang members, MS-13 gang members, you've got to turn the airplanes around and bring them back to the United States of America. Are you kidding me? Or as Dick Vitale would say, because we are in March Madness now. Are you serious? Are you serious? A U.S. district judge. Again, someone that's supposed to be interpreting the law. He's in the same bucket of useful idiots as Jasmine Crockett, who thinks that coming to the country illegally is not a crime. So this person thinks that, if you're here illegally, but you're also here as a criminal illegal immigrant, member of a vicious, violent gang that President Trump has designated as a terrorist organization, you get to stay here. So Judge James E. Boasberg, a U.S. district judge appointed by Barack Obama, thinks that criminal illegal immigrants that are members of a terrorist gang, terrorist organization, should stay in the country. I don't know, checks and balances. This district judge needs to be impeached because he is not interpreting law. He's just an ideologue. And he, again, is contributing to the fact that the Democrats have a 27 to 29% approval rating. He's just dropping hand grenades all over the place. He's an embarrassment. Maybe we should take some of those Trinidad folks that he wants to be brought back and just drop them off at his house. Say, here, you take care of them, Judge. But Trump administration said, not happening, not doing it, way outside your purview. You do not have the jurisdiction on this issue. So those folks are gone. Now, what is this judge going to do? What's the left going to do? They're going to stomp their feet, say, but we strenuously object. Remember that line from A Few Good Men, Demi Moore? We strenuously object to you not bringing back these criminal illegal immigrants to the United States of America. See, one of the reasons why Donald Trump has broken the Democrats, he's put them in untenable positions. You want a government shutdown? Then we furlough workers. Oh, untenable position. You're sitting up here saying that coming to the country illegally is not a crime? Untenable position. You're a judge, a district court judge, who, first of all, you really don't have the purview jurisdiction to be able to say this and do this or deliver this order, but you are going to be on the side of criminal illegal immigrants, and you're going to tell an airplane to turn around and bring them back? But here's the coup de grace. The left is standing on the side of a Hamas sympathizer. I'm talking about Mahmoud Khalil. 31, 32 years of age, a student. Okay, right. But what this guy's over here, Syrian national, this guy's over here, visa, green card, student visa. He's a guest of this country. But yet he's out there inciting violence. He's out there supporting a terrorist organization. That's what Hamas is. Hamas is a designated terrorist organization who has in its charter the extermination, eradication, and the elimination of not just the state of Israel, but Jewish people worldwide, which leads me to believe, how could any Jewish person be out there marching in support of Mahmoud Khalil? He supports an organization that killed what? Some 2,000 people on October the 7th, 2023, took hostages, killed little babies, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, strangled them to death, and then, pummel their bodies to try to say that they were killed in a bombing attack. These people are animals. And yet the left is siding with them, going in and taking over Trump Tower. Free Mahmoud Khalil. Free Mahmoud Khalil. This is a free speech issue. Are you kidding me? Supporting a terrorist organization that killed Americans, took Americans hostage is a free speech issue? No, it's not. It's a sedition issue. It's an incitement to violence issue. You're not an American citizen, Mr. Khalil. You're here as a guest. And here as a guest in this country, you don't get to go out there and say, I support an organization that kills Americans. And as Scott Jennings said on CNN, is about the decimation and the destruction of Western civilization. That means us. But yet the left says that you're violating his rights. He ain't got no rights. Let me put that in good Southern. He ain't got no rights. You may say that's a double negative. Everyone down south knows exactly what I'm saying. That boy needs to be sent out of here. Oh, but Colonel, you have no heart. He has a wife and she's 8 months pregnant. Well, let me ask you something. When was the last time having a wife who's 8 months pregnant prevented police from going in and arresting anybody? It don't. Now, Miss Khalil, maybe you should have told your husband, shut the heck up and come stay at home and be a good husband and be a father. Don't go out there supporting this organization. Unless, Miss Khalil, you believe in that too. And if that be the case, you can leave with your husband, Mahmoud, and go back over to Syria. And you can hang out over there where all of a sudden Islamic jihadists are killing Christians. Same thing. Another ISIS Al-Qaeda guy in charge of a country. Oh, we got rid of, what's his name? Bashar al-Assad. Things are going to be better. No, it's not. We keep making these mistakes and trusting these terrorists. But that's who the Democrats want to align with and side with. And what is Donald Trump doing? Saying you can't have this anti-Semitism on college and university campuses. If you do, you don't get federal funding. And the Democrats are going to say, no, you shouldn't do that. That's why you have a 27 to 29% approval rating. Mahmoud Khalil does not belong in the United States of America. I mean, the left is always talking about Nazis and everything like that. Hamas are modern day Nazis. Hamas are out there about the extermination of the Jewish people, no different from what Adolf Hitler promoted and the Nazis promoted. So why would all of a sudden the left want to take that position? Series after series after series of losing positions. And again, we're not talking about a borderline 50-50 issue. This is a 90 to 10% issue. This is a 95 to 5% issue. And don't have me believing that all of a sudden the left, you believe in free speech, freedom of expression. How many people that you ruined the lives of who spoke out about the COVID or the shot or any of these things? You talk about caring about government employees. I didn't hear you say anything when you kicked out 8,000 to 10,000 of our servicemen and women because they said, I don't want to take this shot, which ended up having detrimental effects on a lot of people. Myocarditis is one of them. So he's broken them, but they are too dumb to realize it. And they're going to continue to go down this path of self-destruction. The question is, do we as the American people want to join them on that road to perdition? I say no. We're looking at a political party that is self-imposing political exile because they did not get the memo from November the 5th of 2024, which said the American people want leadership in a direction that is steadfast and loyal to our constitutional republic.
Before they burn it down.